What's up, YouTube? And first of all, we're back. I'm back home for a couple months during the winter break, so you already know that the bangers on their way. But last night was WWE Survivor Series, and I thought it was a pretty good show. So I want to start a new series after really big pay-per-views for WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, etc., where I've already watched the pay-per-view, and we're gonna rank every single match on the show. This doesn't count kickoff for 24/7 matches, only because yeah, I just couldn't have been bothered. But thank you to these three people who commented on the last video.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm.
And if you want me shouted out in the next one, let me know your favorite match from last night's Survivor Series.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me moving like I'm Pacquiao.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley, champion versus champion, the last slot here. Yikes. See, there's nothing inherently wrong with this match. It's just the idea that these mid-card champion versus champion matches tend to be forgettable. And this one, compared to even other champion versus champion mid-card title matches, was just a little forgettable. That's kind of the thing with these mid-card champion versus champion matches. In recent history with Rollins versus Nakamura, Nakamura versus Styles versus Strong, those are all good matches. They're just kind of forgettable because they put so much time and effort into the world champion versus champion title match that this one kind of just gets left in the dust. And that's kind of what happened this year as well.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me moving like I'm Pacquiao.
Next we have the Men's Survivor Series tag team match. Now, okay, right? The women's one is what you're probably thinking should have came after this, right? I like the women's one more, right? Okay, sue me. The reason why I really just didn't like the men's match as much is because like the SmackDown team was just so weird. Like nothing about those people together on the same team made any sort of sense at all. Maybe Jey Uso and Kevin Owens because they weren't really getting along and stuff, but besides that, the SmackDown team was so badly put together that it made sense the Raw team just absolutely swept the floor with them. I mean, like the Raw team was built really well, and I'll talk about Raw in a second, but SmackDown's team, it just sucked. Like, it really just sucks. Why didn't Adam Pearce make Jey Uso like the captain of the team? He could have been like the head of the kiddie table. Why was Otis the last guy? Like, he had a good showing during the match, don't get me wrong, but like, why was he the last guy to get put on a team with so many other talents on SmackDown? Cesaro, Nakamura, Bryan, Mysterio, and Dominic, both of them. Murphy, so many other people, Big E. The one thing I will say about SmackDown's team I liked was the fact that Rollins went out like a whole martyr. Like, he just took that kick and was out of there. It was a good way to write him off. The SmackDown team was just so poorly put together that it was just kind of hard to watch because like you just knew they were gonna lose. Like there's no way they were gonna win. The way that Owens and Corbin just kind of got eliminated just for the sake of eliminating someone was just kind of lame. Like look at these two guys' resume. Like Owens is a former Universal Champion. King Corbin, like him or hate him, he's a former Money in the Bank and King of the Ring winner. Their resume stack. And they just got eliminated like they were drafted from main event. I will give Raw's team some credit though, because like the team itself was stacked. It was built in a very fun way, like everyone not getting along, and then Riddle passing out nicknames. Styles declaring himself the captain even though he wasn't the captain. Lee and Sheamus honestly just trying to piss off Braun more than he already was. Like, dude, sit on some ice and chill. Also, Keith Lee's new theme song. Mwah! Yes, this is what we needed. This is it. Keith Lee and Riddle were definitely the MVPs of this match. And the best thing that came out of this whole match was the fact that everyone on the Raw side looks like a future #1 contender for McIntyre or even Lashley they want to put in that title picture.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me moving like I'm Pacquiao.
Next we have the women's elimination match. So you're probably thinking again, why was this before the men's? It was just better to watch. Like I just liked it more. There was a better story. There was a lot more MVPs in this match that really just went out and showboated why they're so good. Peyton Royce, she went off. Liv Morgan, I know people love Liv Morgan, right? I've never been a fan of her at all. Like for whatever reason, I just can't connect with her. For whatever reason. I like her now. She did really well in this match. Lana, who's never been known to be a good wrestler at all, she went off. She went off and she did her thing. And Bianca, why isn't she the champion? Okay, well, I love Sasha, so Sasha should be champion. Why isn't Bianca facing Sasha? Heel Bailey's always fun to watch. I mean, her antics, just the random stuff that she says and yells out is hilarious, on top of the fact that it actually makes you want to see her get beat up. Lana got booted to the steps, which was kind of weird because like WWE wants us to really feel sympathy for her, right? And CJ Perry, the person who had the Chronicle, who was talking about getting harassed by fans online, that sucks. And we all need to do better. Really, we actually do. But in kayfabe, why should I like Lana at all? Like, she was literally one of the best female heels for the last 5 years. She's talked down to people. She did Rusev oh so dirty. She did Lashley oh so dirty. What reason should I like Lana, honestly? Like, CJ Perry, the person, we should like. I respect her. But Lana, the wrestler, what reason should I have to like her? She's been such a piece of crap to everyone that she kind of deserves to get put through a couple tables. Bianca went off with Nia and Shayna. I mean, to their credit, Nia and Shayna, they did their thing as well. Give her all the belts. Every championship, even that UK one too. Give her all the belts. And the double count out for Lana to actually be the victor in the match, I thought it was good. Like, everyone's complaining about it. I thought it was actually smart. Like, where does this go for Lana? I have no idea. Where does this go for Bianca? I don't know. She has been feuding with Bayley on Twitter, so I'm praying to God, please let that happen. That would be such a great feud.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead, put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me, moving like I'm Pacquiao.
Next, we have Sasha Banks versus Asuka. I mean, what did you expect, right? Now, let's look at Asuka, who made a career off of having 5-star plus matches in Japan. And let's look at Sasha Banks, who's one half of probably the best women's match in modern day WWE history, or of all time women's wrestling in WWE history. What did you expect? You thought they were gonna have a crap match? Of course it was good. Personally, I like their title match that was on Raw a couple months ago, but added to the fact that the Extreme Rules match, the SummerSlam one, this ranks up there with those. I love seeing the chain wrestling, showing that women can do chain wrestling, sometimes in a lot of cases, better than most of the guys in WWE. And I thought Sasha getting the roll-up win actually protects both of them, as Asuka, who hasn't really done anything in the last couple months, didn't really need the win, because like people need to step up to her, not her step down. But also Sasha's a brand new champion, so to see her lose clean would have been kind of rough. So it's kind of better that she did win, and hopefully Asuka can get a challenger, because like somebody needs to step up to her, bro, because like she hasn't done anything in a while and I'm getting a little bored. And I love Asuka, so like let's not make Asuka boring, please.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead, put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me, moving like I'm Pacquiao.
Roman versus Drew McIntyre, champion versus champion. I reacted to this last night. It's on my YouTube channel right now. It was a good match. I loved it. Two big hosses, just, well, not hosses, they're not like fat dudes, but like two big boys just beating each other, just battering each other. It's something I love to see. A couple of cool entrances, a couple of cool dudes, and just some overall just spamming the finishing button on that spear was just lovely. Of course Roman was gonna get the win. Like if he didn't, the whole head of the table tribal chief thing would have been kind of dead in the water. Like he can't take L's. With that gimmick, he literally has to win. If he doesn't win, it actually makes him look really stupid. Even in defeat, McIntyre still looks like that dude. Like, I mean, he didn't lose because he just lost. He lost because Jay interfered, because Roman hit him with a low blow and the guillotine. Like, come on. Like, who's surviving that? No one. Even Lesnar could have lost to that. But after this match, I'm excited to see who's up next to face these two gentlemen, because obviously we're gonna see Daniel Bryan and Roman, right? And it's gonna be a classic. Who's gonna be next up for Drew? I mean, it could be Sheamus. That's kind of like what they're leaning towards, and I want to see that. Or it could be anyone on that Raw team, because they all look like valuable contenders for McIntyre.
Got a pin cutting heads, go ahead, put the tally down. I got 1-2 combos on me, moving like I'm Pacquiao.
And of course, the best match of Survivor Series had to be the New Day versus Street Profits. We already knew this one was gonna be a banger, boys. We already knew this one was gonna be a banger, boys. This told a story. It told some advertising, and it has some good comedy in there as well. I loved all of it, and I've already rewatched it 3 times now. The commentators were putting over Montez as if he was the next Kofi Kingston, and that is not a bad comparison to be, considering that Kofi was, I don't know, WWE champion. Angelo got some good moments in there as well. I know we always talk about Montez Ford, but Angelo Dawkins, he deserves some credit too. The commentators were talking about how him and Xavier Woods came up together in FCW. If you look at their past and how they played out, Angelo was doing a lot of time in the South, but he finally on that same level. He done came up, and then he done win too. Also Ford with the Michael Jackson glove doing a little hee-hee. Like, it wasn't overly buried. It wasn't like trying too hard. It was like subtle, but hilarious all at the same time. Something that WWE sometimes does a little too much. They like overbear the funniness, and then it becomes not funny. The little subtle stuff is what is a little more comedically correct. And Street Profits got the dub. They obviously deserved it. I don't think New Day needed the win. Like, they can lose and still be the New Day, so I think they'll be okay. But honestly, I just wish these guys were on the same brand. Like, I want to see this feud be another 3 months long. That's my ranking of every match of WWE Survivor Series 2020. In the comments down below, let me know yours. What was your favorite match on the show? Let me hear it in the comments down below. And make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe, and we outie.
Going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze.